뭐야 트위치에서 봐야 돼?
Imagine what it must be for people in
맙소사 720p로 봐야 돼.
in conditions like desert-like and so on.
I could not imagine.
블론디 오랜만에 보네 이
So
친구.
today
살 많이 쪘네요.
I look at a
아
custom
회사
battle
편한가
versus
보다. 살이 엄청 쪘는데
where we
이 친구.
have Ramesses fighting versus Amin
이
Mess.
친구가 시연하던 사람이죠.
Play a bit
컨텐츠
as Amin
프로듀서.
Mess because I know you guys want to see a little bit of both. But before we start, I do have two things to say. Number one, this is not a finished game.
리드 배틀 디자이너.
And it's going to be very apparent immediately when we.
방금 시작했을 거야.
There's going to be some, let's call them placeholders.
소리 더 올려드릴까요?
Because that's what they are. Things are not entirely finished.
소리가 너무 작은데 트위치가?
And we could have waited and just gone, well, we'll stream when the game is done. You know when the game is done? When it's released, right? We don't stop working on it until day of, pretty much, right?
Yeah, and sometimes we even include patches and hotfixes even after release, so work really doesn't stop on the game.
Yeah. And as someone who has to film,
한국이라서
things can
당했다.
change from one day to another. And
한국인이라서
they
당했어.
do. Pretty much every day something changes. But yes, so you're going to see some things that are not really finished. They look kind of weird, and that's just the way game development works. I think it's going to be very
이거
obvious
우리
to you,
보고 보라고.
what is not final. Yeah, the game is in
영어권만을
alpha.
보는
What does
스트리밍 같은데.
alpha mean?
근데 문제가 뭔지 알아?
A marketing alpha here.
484명
It's
보고
basically
있어.
finished. It looks a little bit clunky, but it's basically finished. But
아 이거.
proper game development
야
alpha.
파라오 이거.
What does that mean?
햄타로면 적어도 공식 채널 만 명은 보지 않냐?
Being in alpha state means that basically it is playable from start to finish. It is ready. You can win it.
언제 배틀할 거야
You can
그래서?
experience most of it.
퍼스트
and
배틀
most of
스트림이라고
the
했는데.
assets and everything is already inside the game, but not
유튜브에서
every
라이브 하고
single
있네.
feature is
와
complete.
유튜브 라이브.
This is when we kind of go into beta. Beta basically
이제 시작했거든?
means that all features for the game are complete, and we're only doing balancing patches and that sort of things, because that, of course, is something that we do a lot here.
Yes, absolutely. I want to just put so much emphasis
와
on the
파라오
word
이거 진짜
most.
유튜브 합쳐서 유튜브 트위치 합쳐서
And
전
also,
세계에서 파라오 첫
not
번째
everything.
전투 공개
Okay.
영상인데
the
500명밖에 안
second
본다고?
thing is I'm going to be playing the game today. I'm going to have Milcher coaching.
내가
me.
두 번째 파라오
I
방송
was hyped for my
스트리머네.
production skills.
야
not
내가
my
전 세계
games.
파라오
So if I
토탈워
suck,
2위 스트리머다.
now you know.
와
We'll
소름
blame it on
돋아.
you, don't worry.
와
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I
마
will try
없어서.
my best to help you out with the battles, with different strategies and how to play it and so
Yeah.
on.
All right.
자 이제
So,
시작했어요.
Here we are. The game. Woo!
이게 커스텀
This is,
배틀이네.
all live, so if things go weird, I'm sorry, but that's the way live works. That's why you're here watching on Twitch or YouTube live. It's all unfiltered. I'm just improvising as I go. I don't really know.
아무도
what I'm talking
파라오
about.
방송을 안 하는데?
So
관심이
we
없나
have
본데?
Ramesses versus Amin Mess.
파트너 스트리머들도 파라오에 대한
Ramesses, our boy Amin Mess.
방송을 안 해.
So those are two quite different factions in the terms of how they play. Now we have made a lot of
진짜 없어 유튜브에 아무도
different
파라오 라이브를 하는 데가 없어.
mechanics for
여기랑
the Total워 Faroe.
여기랑 나 빼고 아무도 안 해.
But we are still mostly keeping to the same old-fashioned historical type of titles, where we are going to be focusing a lot more
다른
on the
다른
infantry
파트너들
versus infantry combat.
햄타로 하고
because
있는데?
simply this is the time period that we want
이거
to showcase.
아씨
we want to
갑자기
represent
환불말이
as
오진다?
best as we
아니
can.
파트너들은 미리 해봤잖아.
Now, in the army setup that Blondie has
파트너들은 미리
decided,
해봤는데도 안 하는 거야?
we are not going to be including any chariots as of now, because we are
Yes.
going to be showing them more later, I am to understand.
Yes. So
So,
we're focusing
일단
on
군주의
infantry
무장을 정할 수가 있네.
versus infantry today. In our next stream, which I believe is
활,
July.
도끼, 검,
12,
창을 고를 수
I'm gonna
있네요.
have to double check the date.
여기는
We are
람세스는
gonna be showing off
코펫이랑
chariots there.
활,
But
전차
today,
탈 수
we're keeping
있고
it light. We're gonna
보디가드
focus
장비를.
on the very core of Total War, which is infantry versus infantry.
Okay, cool. So This is going to be a custom battle, so the custom battles are very tweakable, and there's a lot of options that you can put in there and tweak, like the time of day,
아니, 마크가
weather.
어떻게
You can decide
이렇게
what
트로이랑
kind of
똑같을 수가 있지?
weather can happen during the
일단
battle.
날씨를
I
정할 수
see
있네요.
that Blondie has currently left it,
날씨가 세
at
개네.
random,
건조함,
so that we don't really know if
모래폭풍,
anything will change or not change
비 오는
at all.
날.
Yeah.
But these are also going to be how the battles are played in multiplayer battles. Basically, two different factions.
이게 근데 문제는 이집트 내전을 또 보여주네.
They have a number of funds that they can
아니 이게
spend
다른 종족
on
배틀도
building
아니네.
up an army.
이집트 유닛만
Now,
보여주는
when
거네.
you select on the units screen there, you can see from the units that have been chosen. Now, Ramses himself is a very diverse faction.
지금 보면 여기 병력이 있네. 바다 민족이 있어. 봐봐. 쉐르덴 스피어 보디가드 보이시죠? 바다 민족은 용병이나 뭐 이런 걸로 고급 티어 병족으로 있나봐.
He wants to start a new dynasty, but he's also a very capable battle commander. So he mostly relies on units that are a lot more tactical and have interesting skills that allow for better maneuvers around the battlefield and so on. So for this setup, we are going to be focusing a bit on
아니 이게 좀 스틸리저님 아우 감사합니다.
He did actually have a lot of
이런 거 보면
allies
나중에
from the
행사로
Sheridan tribe.
인지네란 이런 것도 나올 수 있을 것
아
같아요.
유진네란 나오면 좋겠는데 과연 나올까요? 아 오늘 그리고 노이즈 마린 설정 잘 봤습니다. 재밌게 봤어요.
I see that we have selected some of the Shasu tribesmen. Now, what's important about them is, for example, the Shasu warriors have.
근데 던오버 3가 이거보다 재밌을 수도 있어. 농담 안 하고.
Makes them degrade armor faster. Now, if you mouse over on the right where the unit stats are, while having been selected, and down on the abilities, you will see that they have the
아머 브레이커, 데미지 에너미 아머 패스터.
breaker ability, which means that this unit damages enemy armor faster.
곤봉 보병. 곤병 보병은 적의 갑발을 부술 수
previous
있답니다.
Total War games, armor was basically a static stat. Units would have a certain amount of armor, and they would play with it for most.
그러니까 오래 싸우면 이게
the
장갑이랑
battles.
이렇게 부셔진다
Armor
했거든.
just
무조건.
mitigates damage that they are taking. But here, it's not going to be a static thing because armor also has quality, and certain units might have their armor damaged as the battle progresses.
근데 이게
which
보면
will make it go
잘 봐야 돼,
less and
여러분.
less as they keep on fighting. Now, the Shasu tribesmen and the Shasu warriors
밸류가
are
있네.
specializing in
나중에 적용하려나?
breaking down enemy armor faster. So we need to make sure that they are hitting the
그럼
right
경보병도
targets
중장
and
보병을
trying
상대할
to
수
find
있긴
targets that
하겠네.
have
오래 때리다
right
보면.
armor and so on. Low quality armor to try and destroy it faster, or the ones that have high quality armor to try and lower it down. And they would be wasted if they're hitting any targets that don't actually have a lot of armor.
Absolutely.
Another, yeah,
비싼
another
애들을 좀 보여줘야
thing
되는데
for
비싼 애들은
this army
보여주지도 않네.
is the core is going to be made out of the Sheridan bodyguards, I believe. Those are
근데
the two first
장갑이
units.
70이네요. 60,
They
70
also
이러네.
have a number of
중장
abilities that we should really try to
얘는 뭐야?
utilize. Now, causes fear is an ability that has
전차
been
막는
present
애들인가?
in previous Total War games as well. It lowers
공포
the morale
면역이네.
of enemy units that they're fighting, so this can come in very handy. But they also
측면
have
방어,
a number
향상된
of
측면 방어가
stances
있네요.
that they can utilize.
이거 트루에 있던 거잖아.
And have
플랭킹, 플랭킹 디펜스 임프루먼, 임프루브. 아 이거 트루에 있는 거 측면 데미지 무시 아니야. 와 졸라 벤티 레슬링 오래 하겠는데 이거?
number of unit stances.
와 이것 때문에
that
트루이
they can
졸라 안
utilize.
죽는데 애들. 어떻게 해야
And
돼?
these are going to be important in when we are fighting the enemies because they can give some interesting advantages. Another thing that is not completely new but can still be very important is their ability to switch weapons because those units are very versatile and they can
그다음에
go
무기 스위칭
from
그대로 있고요.
using a
트윈디드랑
spear and shield
웬드닌디로 바꿀 수
to
있는 거
using
트루이
a
시스템
two-handed
그대로
axe,
있고.
which you will see them wearing on their back. Actually, I think it might be better to just start the
아
battle
저건 별론데.
and see those
측면공주
units
무효화는 측면공주
into
무효화
the
저
game and
개별론데.
how they look.
저땐
there,
프로이 재미가
that
없어졌어
we
나중에.
can
Yeah, let's
check
do
them out.
that. I've seen some people in chat. If you wonder why I'm navel gazing every now and then, it's because I have chat on my phone. I've seen some people point out bodyguard equipment. We'll
그래서
do
지금
that after this
시청자
first
몇
battle.
명일까?
So let's just get into a
나
battle.
유튜브 33, 트위치 몇 명 보고 있지?
Yeah, more
트위치는
this is
다른
not
데서 틀어봐야지.
really the way it's supposed to look.
Yes, we are still working with
트로이
unit cards
전 세계
and
시청자
how they're looking. There are some
공식
lot of
방송
stuff
시청자
that is
합쳐서
still placeholder,
600명.
but we are going to be having some
아
interesting
심각하다.
reviews later on.
우리 채널이 지금
in terms of
400명 보고
battles
있는데
and some UI stuff and so on.
파라오 첫
But
번째
for now,
배틀 시험
we'll
공식
probably just
영상이
use them. Okay, yeah,
총
so
600명이 보고
these are
있습니다.
the Sherden bodyguards that I was telling you about. You can see them here. They are very
바다
looking
민족이에요. 바다
close to
민족
like,
보디가드.
how some of the sea people's tribes would look, and you can
로스터 그렇게
try
많은 것
and
같진
select
않아요.
them and switch their weapons to see how they can actually change to a different weapon when it is
이런데
needed. Now, this is an ability that is going to come in very handy once the battle starts, because we are going to be facing
600명 좀 트위치가 지금 600명 보고
MMS
유튜브가
is
33명 보고
very
있네.
famous
공식
for
방송.
his strong archers. MMS is basically the viceroy
야
of
이게
Kush,
장갑 60이네.
which is the region
이게
in
암호
Egypt,
60이야.
that is
암호
the
60.
south part of Egypt, or the so-called Upper Egypt, because it's on the
야 제국 검사보다 무장이
upper
구려
parts
보이는데
of the
장갑
Nile,
60이네.
which means that he is going to be bringing a lot of archers into the battle. And having this
이게
ability
보디가드야?
to choose between having
RMSS
your units
보디가드네요.
with shields or without shields is going to be very important as the battle unfolds, because we do want them to have their shields at the start while they're going for the charge, and then switch to the two-handed mode, which can do a lot more damage once they manage to get.
아니
range.
전투가
So for
괜찮을
now,
수도
I
있어.
would
근데
suggest to
보병
get
팬티
units
레슬링이네.
you made to
창,
switch their
검,
weapons and
곤봉,
have their shields off,
양손
get back
도끼,
their
활,
shields out.
토창. 전차 어디 갔어?
because this is going to
너희가
be
그렇게
important.
자랑하는 전차는 왜?
I
야 이거 1시간 보여줄 건데 전차도 안 보여줄 거냐?
again
뭐
because we're not ready
보여주려고?
for all the units.
Yep. Because I am a dummy. There we go, I think. Yep, that's good.
Oh.
So those are the units that are
이거-
probably going to form the core of the army, along with Ramses himself. As I said, Ramses
앞으로
was very,
당길게요.
made
보디가드.
a lot of battles and was present in the armies themselves, was not just commanding from the side and giving orders. So he's also really
와,
going to be
이거-
play a huge part in this battle.
차라리
But
불사가 하는 게
another
맞는 것
unit
같은데.
that is going to be very important for us is the Pharaoh's bodyguards.
이게 말이
Those
되나?
are, the Pharaoh guards, I think.
얘가
are
장갑
saying.
90이네.
Customized
아이고,
Pharaoh
슈퍼데이트 감사합니다.
as well, but that's different.
살면서 행타로
And I still
역사가
have the
통틀어서
debug camera.
가장 재미없어
Yeah.
보이는
가장
We
재미없어
have
보이는
actually enabled,
차라리 트로이가
we have
나은 것
actually
같아요, 그렇죠?
enabled a new feature in the options that can give the players the ability to select a debug camera if they want to play the game.
얘는 장갑
It
70이네.
will
파라오
make the
가드란다.
camera
파라오 가드.
be
통가드야?
able to go a lot further up or a lot further down.
야,
It is very
통가드
useful
살
sometimes for
붙었구나.
content creators
어,
or people
살아서는
who would
대형
like to
도끼를
experience the
썼다,
battle
우리
from a different
통가드는.
perspective, but this is not the default camera that
No.
you're starting with. Of course,
Yes, I should have mentioned that.
스틸리전의 워해머
because
게임 채널님
I'm effectively
슈퍼채팅
a content
2,000원
creator, right?
감사합니다.
So
자꾸
I'm
시전
used
바닥
to playing
뚫으면서
the
아래
game
물바다
with
보여주는 거
debug
신경
camera,
쓰이네. 나만
and
그럼?
얘들 원래
it's
카메라
moving
옵저빙을
all the
못해서
way
그래요. 토탈워 하던 사람은
cinematic
익숙해.
smoothing is going
왜?
to be a bit
원래
hard to
이랬으니까.
control the units once the battle starts, but I mean it can still work.
Yeah,
But yeah, so
마치 우리가 대가리
Personal
깨져도
preference,
디아블로
right?
4를 사는 거랑
yeah,
같은
and it is
위치지.
in the options, and I
당연하게
believe you can change
하게 돼
it
있어.
at any
그걸
time.
당연히
There are
여기게
a bunch of
되더라고.
new options that we have added, so this is just one of them, and it was something that was requested by some players to be easy to see your units from up close, or to be
Yeah.
able to move your
아, 진짜
camera
농담 안
very
하고
high up if you want to really
와,
move
이거
your army
처참하게
from,
실패할 것 같은
far
예감은
distance.
드는데
So this is something
일단
that
나는
is
샀으니까
going to be
해볼게요.
available to all players, as they play the
나
battles,
이거 84,000 주고
once they
샀다
start.
지금.
But you
환불도 안
will
된다
need
이제
to
일주일 지나서.
turn it on from the options
Yeah.
first. It not be on by default. Okay, so
아니
just
이미
let's talk
히브리
about
애들은 나오잖아.
Ramses' army, what is
이루스랑
the strength of this
뭐였냐?
army and how we should try to approach this battle.
Right.
Now, the Sheridan, we already said that these doors are going to form the core of the army. The elite magi are another important unit.
트로이
that
할만은 해.
is going to
인기가
be,
없을 뿐이지. 나쁘진 않은데.
play a huge role in the battle. Now, those guys, if you
나는 뭐
check
여러분이 또
their
이거 사라고
abilities as
보내주셨잖아.
well, you
그래서
see
사는
that
거야.
they have some javelins at their disposal. They're very disciplined, and they have improved flanking attacks. While they also have the unit stances as well. So those units are going
텔리전의
to
워해머
be
게임
very
채널님
good to
슈퍼채팅 2,000원
utilize when
감사합니다.
doing flanking.
이 게임
And
재미있게
where
하는
they're
방법.
fighting on the
킹킹
side
고대
without
네헤카라 시절이라고
that much
상상하면서
support.
플레이한다.
So
상상도 안
we
돼.
should put
괴수도
those,
없는데 뭐
units
의샤부티도
on
없고.
one unit on each flank,
이거
both units on one flank and decide
고증대로
where to
카데
approach,
시즌 2에
because this is going to
구현해가지고
be our main
람세스가
focus in the battle. If we can get the
천상학파
Sheridan
우란논의
bodyguards
번개
in the
떨궈서
middle of
히타이트
their army
전멸시키면
where they can
떡상한다.
utilize their fear and then use the magi
원전대로
to
람세스가
move in
전차를
from the sides
타고
with that flanking
번개를
activity,
떨궈가지고
they can
히타이트를
really
괴멸시켰다고
do a
하니까
number on the
그걸
enemy.
DLC로 구현하면 내가 볼 때 떡상할 수 있다.
Now supporting them are going to be the Shasu warriors.
지그
As I
람세스.
said, those are not going to be our strongest warriors. They
기병 없어요.
are
이거 전차만 나와요 심지어.
going to be mostly a utility unit that we use to make sure that the
이거 왜냐면
tough
설명하는 이유가
enemies
이걸로 1시간
are
보여줘야
engaged
돼.
and
얘들 이거 1시간 한다고 했거든?
having their armor beaten down with the clubs that Shasu are mostly utilizing, so that we can have a better attack at them with our
파라오
minions.
시간대가 이상하네.
We do
닌텐도
not
다이렉트하고
have a
시간
very
싸움이라니.
strong
애초에
missile
토탈워라는
core,
사람들은
but we do
닌텐도
have
게임을 잘 안
a
해.
couple of Sheridan raiders. Now those units are throwing
퀸 아이즈
javelins and
아이님
quite
슈퍼채팅 2,000원
devastating if
감사합니다.
퀸
they
아이즈
are
아이님.
being
팩트
utilized
고대
the right way.
네헤카라는 하늘은
So
나르는
we
배나
need
거대
to
조각
make sure
파도
that
담은
those units are
머그컵님
분명히
fired.
있었어요.
슈퍼채팅
아, 맞아요,
2,000원
맞아요.
감사합니다.
Now, as I said, Amunes is going
전능하신
to have a very
아카르트여
archer-heavy
우리를
build, so
구원하소서 전능하신
it's going to
아카르트여
be quite
우리를
hard to
구원하소서 왜
outshoot him. So
구원하네
what
좀
we need to
구원을
do
빌릴 필요가 없어.
is get in
어차피
fast,
머리가
strong,
토탈로에
to
함몰된
try
사람들인데
and
대가리가
overcome
깨져도
the
왜
enemy.
뭐나 토탈로.
And the last unit, the one that you currently have in this one exactly, the Pharaoh's Guards. This is one of the special units that you can obtain in the campaign only after you become a pharaoh.
티어
And
6이래.
it is one of the highest tier units and the
마법소사
most expensive
6티어 유닛이
units
있대.
in the game that you will find.
6티어 유닛?
And they are really one of the most devastating units in terms of attack when they try
야,
to
이거도-
engage. They are
야.
the most devastating.
스티드 패스트. 허씨. 모럴 페널티. 측면에서 공격하면. 아니네? 측면에서 공격 뭐야? 측면이가 모럴 페널티를 안 받는다는 건가?
Units in terms of
측면 공격 강화 방어 있고
attack
향상된
when
측면
they
공격 방어
try
있고 향상된 측면 공격이 있고 야
to
씨발
engage the enemy.
야 이거 욕
Their
먹는 거 다
problem
달아놨네.
here is that they do not have shields and they're armed with two-handed axes if you zoom in close to them. So we really need to make sure that they are not put into the line of fire, and we really need to utilize
아,
them as
이거
our
좀-
main damage weapon. So
이거 너무
basically we
또
try to
트로이처럼
avoid
고티어 보병
enemy
능력치
archer
떡장해줬는데
fire, use some of our magi to quickly try and outflank enemies to stop those archers from shooting and win this battle in that way.
일단
And
전투 하나
those
봅시다.
archers for us yeah, we're also going to be fighting a lot in the sand. I see there's quite impactful. Bother us that much. Sand is going, but
If you look
지형
at my
설명하고 있는 것
cursor here,
같은데
there's
지금
a
모래
little
있는 거
icon,
여기도 보면
a
지형
little
페널티가 있네.
icon
모래는
next to it right now, which is signifying sand.
여기서는 햄타로
then there's nothing here,
늪처럼
but over
활력
here there's
지치고 속도
mud.
느려지고 하나 보네. 다 지형
yeah,
효과
this
설명해주고
appears
있어.
to be a wet patch in the middle of the battlefield that can also be utilized.
느
as-
모래 사구 이런 거 다 지형 페널티가
So,
있나 봐.
uh,
이런 거 좋네.
if
이런 건
we are
좋은데
using certain types of units, we really need to be careful of those, because those are going to be affecting us quite a lot. In this case, as I said, we are playing with Ramses, so the problem is not going to be that much. But if we were playing with some other faction that are not used to playing in the sand, this could be a big trouble. Or
고대
we could
금속 갑옷은 없지.
take
금속
units
갑옷은 없는데
that
적어도
are actually
뭔가
very good fighting in the sand,
상식이라도 이런 걸 좀 멋지게
can
달아내야 되지
outmaneuver
않나.
the opponent in that ways. But this is not going to be the case in this battle, so let's just give it a
디아포요?
normal
둘 다 안
start.
사면 되지. 뭐라고.
How do you think my
둘 다 안 사고
battle line
다른 걸
setup is
사는 게
here?
현명한 판단 아닐까?
Any changes you made before we start?
지형지물 고려해서
I
싸우라는
would
건
put
알겠는데.
Ramses just behind the Sheridan bodyguard, so that he
아니
can
뭐 이건
be
기존 토탈워랑 다를 건
close in
없잖아
there.
사실.
I don't think you have
기존
selected
토탈워도
any
우리가 지형은 다
abilities,
신경
for
쓰면서
him.
하는데 뭐
Now in campaign,
그러니까 요소만
you
몇 가지 더 넣을
can,
뿐 뭔가
as you
새로운
level
요소는
up,
아니야.
you can attain certain
아,
titles
보강을
that
했을
can
뿐이지
give
완전
you
새로운 개념은
battle
아니라고 지금
abilities
소개하는.
and so on that you can
지형적인 면은.
utilize. For custom battles, you need to purchase those abilities additionally with the funds that you have for your army. So the more abilities you put on your general, the less funds you have for troops. You can select basically a lot of abilities for your general, but then
딱 봐도 저는 장애물이 없는
lacking more men
지형이라서 싸우라는
on
거
the
아니야.
battlefield. And
사실
you need
뭐
to
저거는
strike a good
우리가 기존에
balance
토탈워에서 다 하던
into
건데 뭐.
that. But other than that, yeah, it looks good.
All right.
Let's try and get to MMS's archers.
Let's see. So he's coming for us as well. I believe I set myself as defender. So he is going to come at me. And hopefully we can rush our light units here.
드디어 시작하네요.
Relatively
가짜 도정님
faster.
슈퍼챗
가짜 도정님?
2,000원
and
감사합니다.
definitely faster than his
근데 이건 사가
heavy
시리즈도
units.
아니어서 내년에 사가 시리즈
especially
나올
for
수도
Sam.
있다는
You can also see
거잖아요.
싸가는 이제
that,
안 받는다고
both his
했을걸.
slingers
그래가지고
and
그냥
his
일반 토탈워로
bowmen
나오는 거야.
are utilizing fire arrows.
그래서 이것도 원래 규모만 보면 싸가급인데 싸가로 안
How
나오는 거
you go
아니에요.
around.
야, 얘 시작부터 투창 배치 잘못했다.
Okay.
야, 장군 저리 던지면 역타로에서 끝장나는 거 아니야.
See if we can
Keep trying to outflank him
아니, 투창이
and outmaneuver him to make sure that
같은
his
라인에 서
archers
있어야지
are
보병이랑.
not, firing.
근접보병 앞에 서 있다가 스위칭해야 되잖아.
do like this.
아, 이거 투창 전혀 쓸 줄
Magic
모르는데 얘.
can go through here. See if we can get him on the
And-
back line.
Once you start this could have been a bit closer to the charge. You can make the Sheridan bodyguards change their weapons to two-handed once they're engaged, and shoots are
야,
not
이거 잘못
really
플레이.
required that much anymore.
이거 창병도 대용
Okay, so
도끼
like
그냥 던져줬네.
this. Maybe
궁병 물러가는 거는 뭐
This
잘하는
one's
거지만
they seem to be focusing their fire there.
투창 그냥 놀고 있네.
Okay, I see
투창이
you managed to
지금
get some of the
저
Magi
X
to his
도끼 병정 대가리
archers,
까야
and those are
되는데.
some of his best archers
Mm.
with long range, so that is good. You
See if I
can
Disengage here.
now with the new stances, you no longer need to make your units run. You can just select on the stance if they have it to slowly start backing off. Like I see that your Sheridan bodyguard in the middle are kind of losing. You can select them and give them the stance to
아니 이게
slowly
근데
back
적어도
off.
전차라도 보여줘야
This
되는데
way they are going to not
이게-
take as much damage.
아니 이거 기존 토탈워잖아
and
그냥.
slowly be backing away from the enemy without actually
얘들이
turning.
자랑하는 그
While you
진영이라도
continue to
주민에서
try
보여줘야지.
and surround the archers behind it.
그래 진영 잡고 뒷걸음질하는 것도 보여주고
Give it
뭐.
Slowly
Now
backing
this
up there.
아, 이거네 지금
divine
보여주네요.
indication shows that they are currently
지금 이거
moving
보시면 알겠지만
direction
리틀이
backwards, and you will see them
이게 이제
slowly
뒷걸음질
start to
치면서 싸우는
Yeah,
거야.
let's do an evaluation of the battlefield right now. I see that you managed to use your Magi to chase off some of his
근데 이것도 좀 주민을
archers in the
해줘야
back, but where
람세스
is your
따이겠는데?
other Magi
대형
unit
도끼한테?
currently?
Let's see. So my other Magi
Yeah,
is
it is
here.
still not engaged, so we really need to make sure that this unit is flanking.
Yep.
We see Amamnes himself in the thick
아니,
of
저래
battle.
보면 뒷걸음질을
there with
제대로
some
치는지
of
볼
your
수가 있어야지
Shasu
우리가.
warriors. Now those Shasu warriors are
백기
not
저거
going
아이콘은
to
트로이랑
hold
똑같아요.
too long,
트로이야 트로이.
but they are at least
아이콘은
going to be
그냥 다
able to
트로이야
bring
이게.
down some of the armor of the enemies. Now, if you mouse over the enemy leader, you will see in the not in the unit panel, but on the thing that appears next to your cursor, the current state of the armor. and
Ah.
and here you can see that their armor is already at 55%.
지금
Now
이거
100% doesn't mean that the
아머가
armor is
55%밖에 안
completely
남았다는
gone,
거 보여주는 거네.
because this depends on again the type of
자,
armor,
아머가
quality of
계속
armor,
까지고
but
있는 거
this means that
보여주네요. 여기 보면
it
아머가
has
까지고
already
있죠.
sustained quite a lot of damage, and this is
무장이
because those Shasu
소모되니까
warriors are using those clubs to really beat down on that armor.
이러면
And
문제가
make
뭐냐면
the
내가 볼 때
unit
저
weaker
티어
as
가성비 보병만
what it
졸라
was
뽑을 것
before.
같아.
So this is good utilization of those warriors. The ones that are next to that, the ones here that are fighting 2 units, the other Shasu tribesmen here, they are not utilized as well because they are fighting units that are already armed with light armor, and they have managed to
그 티어가
bring their
싸울수록
armor down.
약해지니까.
But since they are already using light armor, that is not going to cause that much of an impact. So yeah,
Right.
those seafaring clubmen, which are not that strong, have had their armor brought down. But as you can see, they don't really have much armor to begin with. So this is not really great
쉴드도
utilization
깨지나
of our
보네.
units' power. And as you see, we have brought their armor down completely, but our Shasu tribesmen are almost at half health, even though as they keep on fighting.
Right. So I
이거
think
호불호 많이
what I'm
갈리겠다.
gonna try and do is one, let's just have these Magi flank the Royal Hittite Chargers. This is not the army I set up for him. This is very weird.
This is a different army. that is
어허,
It looks
이거
like Amnes here is using some allies from the
이거 좀
Hittites.
걱정되긴 하다.
Now we have this new thing.
많이
in-
걱정되는데?
well,
오늘
it's not
실제 시연을 보니까.
completely new, but we have this thing in Total워 Pharaoh where factions can encounter units on the campaign and get them in their army. Those are the so-called native rosters. So imagine if you conquer some of the Hittite lands, you can start recruiting
지금요?
from the Hittite troops and so on, which
지금
can bring
반응이
a
어떻냐고요?
very big
반응.
diversity to the armies.
반응은 이걸로
who are playing with.
설명하겠습니다.
Right. I'm gonna take my Magi Archers, set them off
어,
to the
전
spear.
세계 토탈워 파라오 공식 첫 번째 시연 영상이
I'll take
전 세계
these,
시청자가
Sheriff
700명이
Raiders
안 됩니다.
and let's unpause. Try and get them to flank so that they can
이걸로 답변을
hopefully
대체하겠습니다.
start throwing some spears into the back of Amonmes here.
카우스 도프트 나 4, 5천 명 봤는데 내가
These
알기로는.
slingers are running. It's fine. We're gonna.
Yes, but you
use-
are being chased there by another unit, so
아무도 파라오에
form
관심이
a
없네.
bit of battle line and try to keep those units away from the javelin throwers.
무관심이야 무관심.
Right. You
우리 채널이 지금 트위치 유튜브 다 합쳐서 400명이거든.
set off.
400명이
now
조금
these
넘는데
raiders are out of ammo.
Well, they have done
공식
their part,
방송이
but they
첫
are
번째
still
전투
well
공식
armed,
시연
and you can
방송이
continue utilizing them.
Use these
700명이
tribesmen to try and well, these guys
음,
don't really have any armor, but these do.
Yeah, as you can see, the other Shasu
그러니까 못하는 걸 떠나서
the Shodan bodyguards are continuing to
뭘 보여줘야 될지 잘 모르는 것 같은데.
backwards
이런 거
there.
설명하는 것도 좋은데
prevent
예를 들어
themselves
뒷걸음질
from
치고
taking
이런 거
too
있으면
much
그거를 직접 좀
casualties, even though they're
Yeah.
fighting
주민을
at
확
the
해가지고
same time.
보여줘야지 뭐 전투
Now
이기는
that
게
you have
중요한
them
게
flanked,
아니라
you might want them to stop
주민을
using
해가지고
this
뒷걸음질 치거나
stance
뭐
and
얘들이 강조하던
get them
그
into a spear brace formation.
싱크 모션 부활 이런 거를 좀 보여줘야지. 이거
Right. Which ones were?
너무 마케팅 전투를 못하는데?
So let's do that.
파트너 스트리머들이 시연하는 거 보면
Just have you attack.
모션이라든지 유닛 스탯 이런 거를 주민을 해서
네.
보여주잖아.
They need to be out.
개발사가
of the
그걸
enemy to be
알면서도
able
안
to do
보여주면
this
이거
formation. So
이렇게 하면 파트너들에게 시연 맡기지.
And
왜? 파트너들에게 시연
now
안
you told
맡기지.
them to withdraw without using the special stance, so they are going to be taking a lot of damage when they are
Right.
drawing in that way.
뒷걸음질을 지금 하고 있거든 창빈이
Let's
계속.
see, how are we doing?
창빈이 뒷걸음질 해가지고 데미지를 받아주고 있다. 이걸 설명해주고
Let's take the Royal.
토탈하면서 그런
the
모션을
Fire
보여줘야
Guards,
되는데 안
sorry,
보여줘.
Send them off to the Aegean Spear Chargers. And then. We've run
At
out
least
of ammo.
you managed to, the Magi managed to break Amnes himself. Now, it is good to chase him down. And see, now we did add a lot of new animations. Some
아니,
of them
우리도
you
그래도
can
한 번도
see here when
시연했잖아.
units are running away. Some of them will
그
be
파트너들 한
limping,
번 시연했어.
staying behind if you zoom in
근데 그것도 이제 제한을 많이 걸어가지고 많이 못 보여주게 해서 그렇지.
look at them, even though I think you are going to be catching up on them soon.
궁병은 아마 탄약 다 썼을 거예요.
But they have not completely shattered yet and still have one of health. So all of those are animations.
아 이거
playing
장군군이대가
right now. They will,
역타로에서
if you
졸라
continue
센데
to try to
장군군이대도
hunt them
이제
down,
장갑이
and that is
까지니까
going to be
저티한테
important
두들겨 맞네 그냥.
as that we don't want their leader coming back. And speaking of leaders,
이
Ramses
전차를
himself looks to
보여줬어야
be in a
됐는데.
lot of trouble right now.
한 시간 지연한다니까 전차 전투
I was not paying
보여주겠지?
attention. Fortunately, he
설마
is
전차를
nowhere
안
near
보여주진
anyone
않을 거
else.
아니야.
So I'm just gonna have you run over there, brother.
와
They have broken.
군주가 어떻게 싸웠는지도 안 보여주고 지금 큰일 났네. 람세스는 죽었네
Fully
심지어.
break on mess.
람세스 지금 보면 사막 마크 떴어. 해골 마크 지금 여기에.
Right. It's a shame we didn't have the armies I set out from the beginning.
트로이보다 더 심심한데?
That would have
트로이도
made this
이러진
a little
않았는데
bit
일기토가
more
있어가지고.
even, I think.
제언스 프레시전님 슈퍼챗
제언스님.
2,000원 감사합니다.
With the army.
워햄님 전투행댕 기원전
but
그것도
hey,
경종전승도
development.
그다지 없는 상황조 때를
And this is
가지고
live.
이거 트로이
아니 트로이가 오히려 신화 유닛을 넣어가지고 좀 재해석한 게
Just gonna
있으니까
run him
더
off the map.
다양하고 좋았죠
Oh no,
그나마.
we caught him.
성동기 시대 치고는 최대한 트로이는 그래도 다양성을 구사했는데 어허 이거는 좀 그런데요 지금 너무 트로 리소스만 우려먹고 뭔가 좋은 게 없는데?
These are broken and victory. Woo!
좋아하는 거 봐.
It is nice to have victory on the first battle.
Oh my god. Yeah. I was terrified that I would just be
아마 그거 없다고 했으니까
Immediately
저기
losing,
뭐야
because
군주
I
사망은
like
없다고
to
했으니까
things
햄타로처럼
like,
돌아오겠지.
whoops, maybe not go on the ground. But look at units that are running.
아
away
모션은
and
트로이랑
laugh.
똑같아 그냥. 지금 내가 얼핏 보면 움직임이나 모션은 그냥
flipping.
트로이랑 똑같아.
There we go.
Yeah,
여기
those
다친
are
애들 이런 거
already
그래 이런 거를 진짜
I
보여줬어야지.
know, but
다친 애들 이렇게 쩔뚝거린다는
just
거.
want to show up the animation. Right, we won.
But yeah, okay, let's turn the tables around then. Let's play a game with Amemnes himself. Tweak his army a little bit and see what...
카메라 시스템이 아직 완성된 게 아닐 거예요 아마.
So with a simple switch sides at the side.
야.
Right. Hang on, let's load. Run. I'm a mess. Load.
이거 거의 최악의 반응 나오겠는데? 전 커뮤니티의
Nope.
최악 반응 나올 것 같아.
This is a
And-
pre-made setup? Oh yeah, it is a pre-made
Yeah,
setup.
so this is the setup I wanted. I wonder if it was when I switched sides.
Yeah, switching sides is of course going to generate a new army because you might want a different type of army when you are the attacker. Or
레딧 한번 가봐야겠다. 레딧 반응 졸라 안 좋을 것
All right,
같은데?
so
레딧 세계에
now we
레딧에서
are
구린
going to
반응을
be,
얻다.
I'm a mess. You know what? I'm going to be defenders again because
Oh.
I like being the defenders.
이제 바꿔서 아니 전차 안 보여줄
Okay,
거야?
so
Playing the
Ramses
range.
is going to have absolutely the same army that you played before.
Yep.
So you are
레딧에는
already
어떠한 글도
aware
없구만.
at what his strong units are and what you need to be careful of.
Mm.
You saw how the Shasu managed to bring down the armor of your troops.
뉴
and so
글을
on.
한번
So
보자.
here you will need to figure out a way to counter this.
Right.
Basically, the first thing I see that is different
레딧에 아무도
is
파라오에
that
대한 관심이
Amnes's
없어.
bodyguard and equipment has actually been changed.
토탈워 레딧도 글 안
and
올라오네?
he has been set to use a
최신 글이?
bow and light armor. So in the previous, I think he was using medium armor, at least from what I remember seeing him.
I think, yeah, I think he was using sword and shield, or maybe.
A sword and
이거
shield
파라오 링크
but with
걸어놨거든?
the axe, he can
27분 전에?
actually be very fast. He is armed with
코멘터리
light
0.
armor. So
레딧에서
this
무반응
is,
걸었다. 맙소사.
going to make things a bit different.
파라오 글 저거 하나 있는데
We see
최근 한 시간
that
동안.
with our setup, we have a few units that are.
오,
armed
이거는
with light
심각한데?
armor. Those are the Kushite runners, I believe.
Yes.
Yes, so those are the units that we need to make
아니
sure
무관심이 더 무서운 거야. 차라리 악플이 달린 게 낫다니까?
the Shasu tribesmen and Shasu warriors and try to stop any outflanks altogether because we are going to be relying on some very archer heavy setup here.
놀랍게도 레딧에서 아무도 관심이 없어.
As you can see, you have a total of 6 archer
최신글을
units. Those are
봤는데.
the Tasseti longbowmen. This is one
진짜
of the
레딧
most
들어가봐요.
powerful
레딧 가서
archer units in the
포스트
game.
뉴로 맞춰놓고
If you
최신글
look at
찾아봐봐. 파라오에 대한 반응이 아무도 없어 지금.
also see that it
내가
has
투자한 거 아니야 진짜. 지금
highest
레딧 들어가보면
range
여러분이
as a
알지는
tier 5 unit.
사실이야 저건.
With excellent morale and everything, yeah, it can almost have double the range of some other range units. So this is going to be very important for us to utilize right. It also has unit
아
stances.
여기가 이 정도면 다른 데도
So it
마찬가지겠네.
has the full back stance. So if it gets engaged, you can make sure that they
아,
slowly
진호님,
start
쉽쇼.
retreating while fighting instead of just utilizing the skirmishing behavior. And this is going to be more effective. So I do recommend you try to see that and use it.
아멘메서스
They are also
유닛
using
소개하는 건데
spears as their secondary weapon. So they can also have a spear brace formation, and this is why this archer unit is that powerful.
얘는 궁수가
Now
강한
we're also
팩션이라
going to have
했거든.
some
궁수
regular
위주로 간다
shite
했으니까. 근데
archers, but basically
유닛이
those archers
자 봐요.
are going
보병
to be,
4종, 원거리
our
보병
most
2종,
important units.
궁기
And this
궁전차
is-
2개.
they need to support them.
이게 다냐고.
We have a bunch of shade spearmen. They don't really have a lot of
0
abilities.
좀 내리면
but they
조금 더
can
있을 것
form a
같긴
spear
한데.
wall as well. Yeah, this is the spear wall formation. It has of the enemies and turn it against them. So if
이거
we use this, it's
좀-
going to be quite powerful. Now keep in mind that this cannot be used once the engagement
창벽
has
포메이션이
started.
있고
So you need to
복합 보병이
plan
되나 보네
ahead
이거.
a little bit in order to be able to win.
돌격
with those
반사,
units.
돌격 반사가 있고.
And what are the last units we have? Those are Kushite Royal Guards. Those are again
Right.
pretty sturdy units with a lot of unit stances utilized. They are best placed on the flanks to prevent enemies from trying to outflank us and basically stop
와, 이거
units
너무
from
심각한데?
getting to our archers and Amamnes himself. Now they have quite good armor, even though if it is medium armor.
겁수원님 구독
But
감사합니다.
구독
we
감사합니다.
need to make sure that they are not
나도
facing
이거 라이브 안 하고 그냥
Shasu warriors
비스트맨 티어리스트
or
마저 편집할 걸
tribesmen,
그랬나?
because this will play a number on their armor.
만들다가 이거 방송하러 온 건데
That great.
나는. 와
Indeed.
이거.
I don't know if we mentioned it, but
와 차라리
you can
불사가가
see
나은 것 같아.
the tier of units.
아, 불사가는 처음 한번
Just at
한번
a
재밌게라도
glance.
하지
So we
이거.
can see here that these are
야, 이거
bronze-colored
큰일 났네.
circles. So the circle means that it's a light unit.
Yes.
Bronze means that it's one or
어차피
two.
나는
So we can see
스트리머니까
that
사는 게
it's two
맞는데
circles
여러분은 굳이 살
on
필요가
this,
없잖아.
on the circles.
일단 내가 하는 거 보고
Compare
여러분이 일단 구매하지 마.
see,
구매하지
so
말고
we
뭐
have-
기다려봐요. 내가 평가 싸게 줄 테니까.
anyone who is
아니 전차를 왜 안
here, so we
보여주지?
have here on this
아니, 전차 임박을 걸면 어떡해?
It's been a while since I
제일
have
중요한 게 지금
marked class.
전차라도
Usually call them squares
변수를
or
어떻게 주는지
diamonds.
봐야 될
Sure,
건데.
diamonds. Let's go with diamonds. That's
아무리
cool.
10월에 이게
So they have
공개라지만
one
이건
border.
나는 좀
Compare
이거
that
이해가 안
to
된다.
our tier 4 Kushite Royal Guard. They have two borders, which is tier 4.
와 이거 환장하겠네
Then if we
진짜.
go up to gold borders, it's tier 5. But if we compare it to the tier 6 Pharaoh Guard, they have two gold borders. So that's how you can see at a glance.
제언스 프레시전님
good a
슈퍼채팅
unit is.
2,000원
감사합니다.
감사합니다.
Oh, this is
DLC 지옥에서
mostly the
돌아온 나의
generalization
제사장
of the
미라
stats.
이모탭
The units
존버한다.
is going to
아,
have
이모탭.
higher tier units are
맙소사.
going to be available later
영국
in the
군대
campaign.
이모탭에
They're going to
불사 군대
cost more
그게 나을
funds.
수도 있겠다.
You can
사양은
see
아직 안
here
나왔을
in
거예요.
the screen how much different units cost.
역대 토탈워로 방송할 생각 없네요.
And they're
역대
going
토탈워도
to be more
최적화가 쓰레기라
powerful in general.
4K로
But
돌릴 수가
still,
없으니까 할 수가
They
없어.
can have their
HD
strengths
방송해야 돼,
and
역사로
weaknesses
하려면.
that we
다시.
need to
1440p
expose.
포기하고.
Now, those Pharaoh guards that you just showed that are the tier 6.
좀-
if you
좀-
look
좀
through their
보여줘봐.
stats, they are
저기
very,
힐 못
very
내리나
powerful.
보다.
But as I said before, they are lacking shields, and
Yeah.
we do have a lot of
분명히
archers.
병종이 더 있을
So
텐데
basically, we need to get rid of
못
them
내리는 거
before
보니까
they
엠바고 걸려 있나
get
봐.
close to melee range and be able to attack us.
So,
And once they
I did-
engage, we don't really want to fight them. We want to just skirmish them.
허허.
Absolutely. I just want to respond to
뭐 UI야
something
피드백
else
받으면
from chat.
계산하면
It's
되는 건데.
gone now. there's a lot of units here.
파라오 엘리트 유닛이라고 있네.
We're just showing off some of them because
밑에
we're gonna
뭐가
have other
많긴
live
해.
streams, and other videos and stuff. And we don't want to show you everything yet. We want to leave some for the future, right? But
future, 미래에
this
보여주겠대.
is a pretty long scroll bar, as you can tell. Right.
밑에 더 있는데
I
일단
was just
보여준다.
about to explain about
Oh, sorry.
the scroll bar and what it was, but since you teased it like that, I guess we are going to leave it for another stream.
Yeah, there are many units, and they go into many different categories. Right. So
야,
we
근데
are
이거
in the same position, but this time we are the defenders. We are still the defenders. Ramesses has the same army that we used before.
이거 전투 두 번
and
보여주고
I
끝이야
have
그러면 딱 봐도.
a different army because
이거 또 설명 1시간 또
I have my
10분은 하고
dumbbell
있을 거
messed
아니야.
up.
Now,
끊기는 거 보소.
since we are the defenders, we might choose
뭐야?
where to position
송출 상태 왜 이래?
carefully. So
어이 45명
there
보는
is a
방송
huge
이러면 안
glitch
돼.
behind us that can be very well defended with archer units.
아, 똑같은
You can see the
지적하잖아.
range of those units. Also, just a tip here: whenever you're placing ranged units, don't place them to each other because they're going to be interrupting themselves from shooting.
채팅 반응도 없다.
Archers are shooting the best when
46
there are
명
no
보고
other
있어.
units intertwining with them.
한 명 더 늘었다. 46명. 자, 오!
So I see you are already going for
700
some
찍었는데
defensive
160명
formations here.
도망갔어.
Yep.
첫 전투 보고 160명 도망갔어.
These are gonna be
마법소사.
our primary defensive guys.
오!
I'm gonna put you up there because I don't know which directions.
야,
they're
500명으로
coming from,
줄었어. 700명 찍고
These are the types of
500명으로
tactics
줄었어.
that other
이
players can
채널이랑
sometimes deem
100명밖에 차이가 안 나.
camping in the back and utilizing the hill, but
right? Chat, at
utilizing
least I'm
the
not corner
terrain.
camping.
와, 마법소사.
Utilizing the terrain is something that is going to be very important. Now, here you have
Oh.
selected quite a barren map, and I do believe that this is on purpose, probably.
아, 그래도
because,
우리는 여기서 디스하는 분위기라 재밌어서 보는 거 아니야.
it is Egypt.
다 같이
We're
돌을
not
던져도
very
어?
much in the desert
마치
here.
다 같이
And
뭐랄까
actually, Egypt itself
파라오라는
is mostly
개구리에게 돌을 던질 수가
situated
있으니까
around
여러분도 남아 있는 거
and
있는
the landscape
공식
around
채널은
now
그런 말도 못
doesn't
하잖아.
really look as barren as it does
어.
here. Here
No.
we are obviously
언덕에
fighting
배치하고 오게
somewhere
만든다는
in the
거네.
desert.
방어치기니까
Yeah.
자기가.
I'm gonna be
Um,
honest. We were supposed. I'm gonna be honest with the chat, not
와.
with you.
아니 이게
We
문제는
were
뭔지
supposed to
알아?
discuss a
햄타로
map,
햄타로 3
to play
플러스
and then we forgot.
DLC 하나
and I chose
값이라는
this one
거야.
on random.
7만 원이
I thought
넘으니까
that you
8만
want to talk
원이잖아
more
이거.
about
디아블로
fire
4랑
and that
가격이
sort of
같아
stuff in
일반 판이
different
내가
stream
알기로.
because this is another
할인 안 하네요.
large new feature that we have been adding and so on, but
You know
cannot
what? Let's
be
go with that.
displayed here.
Yes.
So okay, I guess we are going to be talking more about that in a different
야,
stream
이거
because
진짜
there are
심각한데.
ways now of dealing with people who try to take the best possible positions on
아니,
hills
전투가
and
이렇게
so on.
재미가
If
안
there
느껴지면.
is grass and trees and stuff to burn there. But I guess we are going to be talking more about that sort of
농담이
things in the
아니라 이거보다 당장 햄타로를 커서
Absolutely.
스카스닉이랑
So
배불뚝이
today we're
그롬이
focusing on-
고블린만
we're trying to
가지고
utilize
싸움해도 이거보단
some,
재밌을 것 같아.
stances here. So we're gonna enable shield wall formation on these guys here, and they're gonna stay put.
진짜 농담이 아니라
We
스카스닉이랑
have
배불뚝이
our
그런
Kushite
골라가지고
Royal Guard.
고블린
Right here.
병종으로만
I don't know
하드
which
짜가지고
direction
대규모 전투 돌리는 게 더
이제
재밌을 것
남은
같다니까.
희망은 야외
Looks like they're
토탈워다.
gonna
몰트키님 많은 후원
here, so
감사합니다.
I'm gonna move these down. I had them in the middle. just
고블린이
to
병종 다
hedge my
있어.
bets.
기병, 공기병,
Yeah, that makes
전차,
sense.
궁전차,
This
Also,
side.
don't be afraid.
창병,
There are archers
곤병,
or
암행,
javelin throwers. You
쌍검
can just
다 있어.
outshoot them with your own.
Yeah.
Usually, when I play, I remove the
이거는
auto
좀-
shoot and auto skirmish modes. Of course, that is up to players' decisions to make. It can make the game easier or
야
harder.
이거 좀 아닌데?
Yeah, those units have the ability to do flaming
스탠다드
shots. Now, flaming
샷,
shots are not going to
플레밍
deal
샷,
as much
불화살.
damage.
뭐 이건
and are
원래
going
있던
to
거잖아.
have, lower range. but they are going to lower the morale slightly of enemies that they shoot at. Now, this is not the biggest use of flaming shot, though, but on this map, not really much else can be done because we can't really set the sand on fire.
아 좀 쏘는 거 주민
Oh my
좀
god, we're gonna turn it into glass.
이렇게 지금 아무것도 안 해도 주민이라도 해줘야 되는 거 아닌가?
Right. Yeah, so I just want to use
와,
flaming
환장하겠네.
arrows here
잠깐.
to hit the morale of the units.
잠깐 보고 계세요.
잠깐만요.
잠깐만. 저 화장실 좀 잠깐만 갔다 올게.
Make sure that you are shooting at the Pharaoh's guard that are
여러분들이
coming over there on the
구독
left from
감사합니다.
behind.
아니
because
이게 근데
we really need
주민도
to
너무 안 보이죠?
bring
답답하다.
the
잠깐
numbers
화장실 좀
of
갔다
those
올게.
dudes down
Yeah, I'm
before
gonna
we can
turn
get
off.
focusing fire on them can be very helpful.
There we go.
And you are already being engaged on different sides, so you can use your light units to quickly outmaneuver behind enemies.
I'm gonna send this guy after the Sheridan Raiders. And then I'm gonna try and use these guys to flank a bit. Also you. And I don't know if this has been in any other Total War, but if you ever feel like, oh, the camera's so slow in this one, hold shift. I don't know if it might be a debug camera thing.
No, it is. It has been in most Total War games. This one,
I learned about it like 3 weeks ago.
Well, you are also playing with the cinematic smoothing of the camera.
That's fair. I'm already
It would
game.
be nice
That's
to
why I'm
spread
bad.
your archers a little bit so that all of them can be shooting at the same time.
Right.
And as you can see here, the focus fire on the Pharaoh Guard, with them having no shields, is really bringing a number onto them.
I'm actually gonna disengage here because they're taking a little bit too much damage.
Unfortunately, those Kushite runners are not as well trained as most of the other units, and they don't have the slow move backwards type of stance that we utilized in the previous battle.
Oh, we've gotten a really nice group here. Let's change.
You can focus fire here as well. You can see that these Tassetti archers, they do have a special ability that can be used.
Want to make sure I don't get someone on my archers here. Kind of messed up, let them coming through. I also definitely forgot to set these on guard mode. Because as I said, they pay me to read, not lead. I don't know. That didn't make sense, but anyway.
It's good that we managed to deal with the Pharaoh Guard. Keep shooting on them until they run there. Okay, they are running now.
Perfect. Yeah, I've got them pincered here between my Kushite runners and my Kushite Royal Guard. Oh, wonderful. Yeah, this.
And here you can zoom in on this melee a little bit. We can see here that units are now going to be using a lot of matched combat animations and so on. This is something that is back in this game.
Oh, stab them in the ankles. It's not the greatest. Oh.
Yeah, you have selected yours to be quite on the defensive here, so they are basically just trying to keep their grounds, not attacking as much. But with archers raining arrows and fire from above, this can be quite useful. So
let's see. That's a really bad example because they're kind of in a weird melee.
야 이제야 주민을 해주네.
Multiple people fighting each other.
그래 진작 주민을 했어야지.
Let's see if I can find something. Oops.
게임 사운드가 안 들려요?
On the other side. I swear they're in. I've seen.
왜 사운드를 안 들려주는 걸까?
Zed.
this is quite a large killing field happening here.
Yeah. Oh, they're running away.
참 그렇네.
It is very obvious when you put a unit 1v1. Let's see where are we?
Yeah, they have all run away now because you managed to take the hill. And
엄청 작네.
AI
사운드
was
세팅을
not able
잘못했어.
to deal with your archers.
Absolutely.
And yes, MMS being one of the best archer factions in the game, it's you are
와,
going to have a
이거
lot of
진짜
problems dealing with them
걱정된다.
if you leave those archers to shoot as much as they want.
Right. Let's see. Let's pick another sandy map.
자,
And I'm gonna.
근데 이거 어떻게
I'm gonna
보면
start this battle.
이런 거
just
한번
because we have a
망해줘야
couple more
정신
minutes.
차릴 수도 있어.
Okay.
We
뭐야?
you know we've invaded Milton
뭐야?
and taken his time away from
전투 또
this
한다고?
battle. Sandy map. We have don't take long.
왜 전투를
So-
또?
What I want to make sure is that while I play a little bit here, chat, give us your questions about what we've
맵을
talked about
바꿔서 하나?
today. Milcher is, of course, lead battle designer, so we're going to be talking about battles. We have a couple of things that we
그거
want to save for the
그
future.
공병
but
팩션이란 걸
send in your
강조하는데
questions.
활 쏘는 모션이라든지 데미지가 얼마 잘 들어가나 이런 걸 보여줘야
I
되는데
don't have such a great choke.
갔다 온 사이 그런 게
so
하나도 없더만.
This one is going to be
내가 핸드폰으로
a little
보면서
bit,
갔다 왔는데
harder to defend. Right. So.
평지에서 싸우는 거 한번 보려는 건가?
ba- 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 ba-
위치가 바뀌어 있네요 지금.
So, we have a question here about how missile fire.
에이지 오브 원더스
impacts
4
the
타는 게
morale
나아요. 에이지
of
오브 원더스
units in a
재밌더라
battle.
나도 해보니까.
And
근데
also,
토탈워 때문에 나도
leading to
방송을 못 하고
flaming
있어가지고
arrows.
지금.
Can we talk a little bit about that?
에이지 오브 원더스도 조만간 한번 방송할까?
Like most damage, missile fire is going to have.
근데 진짜 심각해.
Morale of units.
농담
If they are
아니라.
being shot at, they are not going to feel as great, so there are going to be some penalties to their morale that they have. And flaming arrows are going to be increasing that. So they are going to deal even more damage to the morale of enemies when they're being shot at with flaming arrows rather than normal arrows. Now, even though that is not the best use for flaming arrows, it can still be quite nice. Here, in this map in particular, you need to be a bit careful because I see some bushy
얘들 바닥에 불
areas,
지르고 이런 것도 안
on the
보여주고
map,
있으니까 지금.
and those can really catch fire, and the fire might
이제
spread.
보여주려나?
So
이제 불 지르는 거
this
보여줄
can be
모양이다.
utilized either offensively, defensively, because you can shoot at the ground and try to set it aflame before even the enemy has come there, so that you can deny them some sort of land. But other than that, morale
컴퍼니
is going
3가
to
더
be
나을 수도 있어.
impacted,
농담 안 하고.
like in other Total War games. And of course, casualties taken is also going to have an impact on the morale itself.
사정거리가
Though it doesn't
240이라
really
엄청
matter
기네.
if
드라이.
casualties are
날씨
going to
효과
archer
설명해주고
fire
있고
from regular melee combat.
건조할 때는 불이 빨리
There are a
펴진다고
lot of
저번에
factors
이야기했으니까.
that play into morale and how it is applied.
근데 AI가 저기로 와줘야 되려면 보병을 미리 앞에
So
갖다
we
놔야 되는
talked
거 아닌가?
about weather a little bit in other in videos. We've never talked about
지금
it on
지형에 불 붙이는 걸 보여주려고 하는 것
We talked about nothing
같은데
on stream other than
그거를
what we
제대로
talked about,
보여주려면
so
보병대
far
하나가
today.
여기
So
미리
we've
배치를
started
하고
every battle so
있어가지고
far in dry weather,
여기로 AI들이 오게
and
만든
then
다음에
random changing weather.
보여줘야 되는 게 내가 볼 때는
Yeah,
아무래도
those are
맞는
the
것
options you
같은데
can select on the custom battle screen. You can select the weather to be whichever.
지금
weather
AI가
type you want.
풀바스로
Those
오고 있지
certain weathers
않거든요.
can
지금
only happen
문제가 뭐냐면
in certain types of terrains. Now you can't expect a sandstorm in like Anatolian region, somewhere up in the mountains or something like that.
Those will be magic
As well as you
sandstorms.
can't really expect a thunderstorm in a desert like this one.
보여주려는 건지 못 보여주는 건지 이거 알 수가 없네 진짜 이거.
So we are playing on ultra unit size, which has every unit. Well, so these units are 120. We've got 80 and 90 on our archers, 80 on mess. There is a unit size above this. You can go. I think it's
그리고
like
화질이 안 좋아서 일단
size.
지형이
Yes,
어떤지도
this
잘
has
파악이 안
been
돼.
in previous Total War games as well. This is of
화질이
course
HD긴
depends
한데
on
얘들이
what
비트레이트를
your
너무
chip
떨고
can actually
가지고
handle. So it is
사실상
a
얘들 화질이
graphic
720p랑
option as
다를
well.
바 없어. 유튜브
Unit
1080p
sizes
쏘지
go
말고.
from different scales from small all the way to
적어도
extreme.
HD로
and
방송할 거면
change the number of
비트레이트
entities that are
올려가지고
present in
지형이라도
each
선명하게
unit.
보이게 해야 되는데 그것도 안 된 상황이라
Can,
비트레이트 한 4, 5천밖에 안 돼 보이는데
if I
지금
can
비트레이트
draw
얼마지?
someone into this grass here. People really wanted to see grass on fire.
비트레이트가
On the
뭐야?
build that you are playing, I do
Yeah.
believe that you can
화질이
decide
내려가
you
있네.
can shoot
아까 한번
at the ground
튕겨가지고.
by
근데
out clicking on attack.
포맷이 그리 높지가
somewhere.
않네.
I didn't want to bring it up because I didn't think it was in the game yet. Let's see.
It should be.
유튜브에서 아까
Though right now
서버가
I
좀
do
안
believe
좋아가지고
it
닌텐도
is a
때문인지
bit
모르겠는데
late for
아
you
이제 불
to be
지르네.
doing that.
Yeah, it definitely is.
불을 저렇게 때리면 그냥 강제로
Progress
불을
to be
지를 수 있긴 하네요.
sacrificed,
3타로 나무처럼.
Oh yes, it
근데
can. The problem here is that
안
your
붙네,
units
잘?
are going to be there as
Oh
well.
yeah, I'm absolutely just doing this
쟤
to test
참산이냐?
with myself. I'm not going to win this battle. I'm kind of just using this as a backdrop for talking about things.
Those are just small
오,
bushes
불
there.
너무 안
Not
질러지는데?
sure how much you are going to be able to.
Oh,
이제 불
there you go.
질러졌어요?
Oh, you actually managed to start one. Okay.
All right.
I mean, of course, this is utilized
이거
a lot
무시해도
more
못한다.
when fighting
큰일이다.
for settlements or when
난 파트너 스트리머
fighting
섭외하지.
in more grassy areas, more.
해외 파트너들도 숫자도 많은데
forested
아무도 이거 안
areas.
하려고 해서 그런가?
You can use this to make some enemies get out of the forest if they're camping inside, and so on.
자기 편을 죽이는데? 불 질러가지고.
And if I mouse over, no more tall grass.
Yes, setting a forest on fire or tall grass on fire will actually
큰일 났다.
remove that terrain from the game. So units that previously would be able to hide there or have penalties there are no longer going to have there. So it is possible to do tactics like burn some
이거
of the tall
영국에서
grass
전송하는 게
so
좀 안
your
좋아,
chariots
지금
can
우리가
move
보는데.
through there unimpeded.
우리 인터넷 문제는 아니고
And
지금 체크해
this
보니까.
can be something that is important.
아마 닌텐도 다이렉트 때문에 유튜브가 조금 마비됐을 가능성이 높습니다. 트위치나.
And you are not paying a lot of attention to your
No, so I'm
army.
trying to read chat and
I see the Pharaoh guard just moving rampant through your units, and
oh my
the
god, I
people
can't.
who are not focus firing.
디스 당하고 있네.
I am absolutely not paying attention. I was looking at my own units there for a moment. Let's see what's going on here. See if I can go there.
어택당 기능이 생겼다고 진짜?
Oh, there they are. Hello.
어택당을 한 개 있어?
Yeah,
And also
they-
you. And well. Okay, let's see. What is the unit at the top left of the unit? Oh, you're talking about this one? So this is the rank icon, which is not yet
Yes.
implemented.
The rank icon is not yet in the game. As we said, it is still an alpha build. Not all the icons, not all the features. And as I said, we might soonish have some interesting announcements in terms of
Yeah.
UI and some other different things. But yeah, this is an alpha build, so it is kind of expected to still have things that are
약간
placeholder.
레인저가 슈팅 식이 뭐지?
The audio is
아틸러리처럼
still
그라운드
not,
어택 가능하다고?
completely into the game. So yeah, there are some
Yeah.
things that are
아니
expected
그거
to be like
3타로에도 나무 찝으면 나무 때렸잖아.
Indeed.
그냥
I
불
think we're
지르는
gonna
지역만 때리는 거
do-
아니야?
Because there's a lot of questions about fire.
어디
We're gonna
있어?
do I think a bigger section than I had
어택당이 아니라 그냥 그라운드 어택 아니야?
Because I think there's a lot about fire and how it interacts with the map. So let's make sure that we remember and do that the next time. Let's
Okay.
see.
Before that, I can answer any questions
Yep.
that you might have and you might see.
Let's see. I'm going through here. Do we have a snow weather?
그라운드
I
어택
don't
말하는
believe we do
거구만.
know. Do you know which weathers we have?
So
뭐 전투
again,
지는
it
건
varies from
중요하지가
region
않은데
to
불
region.
지르는 걸 제대로 안 보여준 거
It
좀
can go
깝깝하네.
from
불 데미지가 얼마나 되는지가
sweltering,
나는
well,
보고
basically dry
싶었는데.
weather, sweltering
3타로
weather,
나무 불 지르는 정도로
rain,
되는 건지 이게.
mist, well, fog. It is more like cold. Thunderstorm, sandstorm.
도트들이
Those are
들어가고
the main
있긴 하네요.
ones. I
근데
believe,
같이 죽고
and they
있잖아.
can
자기들이.
have impact on the terrain itself as well. So if it is raining, certain patches of ground might become into mud. They might start as mud if the weather has started as rain, or they might change to
그러니까
mud
이거를 뭔가
dynamically during the
시스템적인 거를
battle
강조하는
if
주민을 좀
weather
제대로 해줘야
appears in the
되는데
middle of the battle. Same goes with
그걸 하나도
sandstorm.
이용을
You
안
can
하고
blow in
있어.
sand
환장하겠네.
on different patches that was not sand before that. So yeah.
Indeed.
아이고.
We are still tweaking a lot of
걱정된다.
balance stuff as
10월에
to
나올
how
때.
much weather is actually impacting your units. we do want it to be something that
그러니까
is.
저거
quite
잘 이용하면
relevant.
3타로 기름 지르는 것처럼 되는 것 같긴 해. 시스템 소스가 3타로 숲에 불 지르는 거랑 그거랑 똑같은 것 같거든.
We're just gonna look at this melee here while I look for some more questions in chat. We never really talked about.
개인끼리 지금 싱크킬 모션이 있잖아. 개인끼리 모션은 한 전투 모션은 있는데 전투 애니메이션은 주고받나 합을 주고받나.
I do believe that the
뭐
Bushido
그게 지금
Warlords
블러드
can
팩
do
없는
this.
상황에서는
Those are
사실
the
뭐
swordsman. Yeah.
그렇게 큰 의미는 없을 거고.
Well, it was. You might have tried to push them into the fire
분명히
while it was still
근접전을 하고
burning. Now it is pretty far away. You can still try it, but
불
it
질러서
will
다
be
죽었네.
a long way from here. You don't need to pull them out of the combat to do the pushing stance. You can still select it, then select where you want them to push to. They will reform and start pushing the enemy. Though
기병은
here
없어요.
in this
기병
example,
자체가
the
없는
enemy
게임이야.
is almost dead. So they are probably going to kill them before they actually manage to push. Yeah, they started running.
All right,
immediately.
let's reform over here and try and push.
아 가격이 이게 8만 원짜리인데 일반판이.
Right.
Yep,
Come
they
on,
are
sir.
still reforming in this stance. You have still
일기토는
you
없는데
have to
그
click it
유닛끼리
again. We are still working on
그
some interface
서로 합을 주고받는 쇼군 때
improvements
있던 그
for the
킬
stances
애니메이션
and how
있잖아.
you select
로마랑
them.
쇼군에 있던
Like
거.
right now, you
이게
have selected them and
부활을
told
했단
them
말이야.
push all
근데
the way
그거를
to that
제대로
location
보여주질 않아 지금.
over there, and so they're going to try and push any enemies away from their current position and into that position over there. One of the good things
에픽에
about
공짜로 안
selecting it
뿌리려나?
like that is that you can order them to go into this advancing stance from very far away, but it will also negate your charge. So if you are going in with the advanced stance, they
근데
are not
트로이를
really going
에픽
to
돈으로
charge in
만들었잖아.
and
트로이
do
에픽 돈으로
a
만들어
strong,
놓고
powerful charge. They are
그
going to
소스만
also try to
돌려먹어서
push
하러
enemies
만들었는데
backwards.
그거를 지금
And
9만
here you
원을
can see
받아먹는단
how your
말이야.
units
9만
are
원을.
already starting to advance
이게 난 좀 맞는
forward
건가라는
while
생각은
fighting
들어.
the enemies.
어떻게
Those
어떤 돈으로
enemies are,
만들었는지
of
뻔히
course,
아는데
kind of
나는 그게 좀
already
걱정이네.
very beaten up, but they will start pushing them. Now, whether they push them or not really depends on the weight difference between the enemies that you're fighting,
로얄
and
가든데
if they are themselves
얘가
in a special stance. Because if they select a spear brace formation or some other formation that stops them from being moved, they are not really going to buckle and will stay there. Your units are still going to try to push, but they are not really going
밀어내면서 때린다. 이거는 좋은 것 같은데.
you
And
can
as
see
we've
here
seen,
how you're slowly moving them backwards. Of course, this can be utilized in different
날씨가
weather. Oh, the
바뀌었네.
weather has changed to
웨더
sweltering.
이제
Now,
체인지.
sweltering is going to tire units in heavily armor a lot faster, and stamina is playing a huge impact in the battlefield here. And yeah, you manage to break those enemies. So unless you tell them to stop, your units are still going to continue advancing in the position that you gave them.
let's just tell them to go over there. Why not?
어이씨.
Right.
심각하다.
Yeah, this battle has become quite chaotic as we haven't really been paying much attention to it, and there are all kinds of units everywhere. I see most of your archers have run off somewhere.
Yeah.
There are there.
I'm trying to read chat, find good questions,
And
emphasis on
they're
good,
out of ammo.
while also playing the battle. It's not the greatest, but we have a good question here. Now that the weather has become sweltering, can it change again? Let's say that this battle went on for another 40 minutes.
No, the weather is going to change max one time in a battle. So it can start with one weather and then either change to
이
another
이닉이네.
weather or not change at all. In custom
근데
battles,
너무 팬티
you can set
레슬링이라
that. You can put it as to random, like
너무나도
we have
팬티 레슬링이거든요,
or
지금?
you can set it that weather starts as dry and changes to sweltering.
너무
or
팬티
weather starts as
레슬링이라서
rain,
이거
goes into a thunderstorm,
큰일인데,
or
이거?
starts as rain and goes into a dry, and so on. On the campaign map, it is going to be random, based on the region that you are, so you are not going to have control of that. And once it changes, it will remain with the changed weather for the rest of the battle. Now, when exactly the change happens, is not something that is set, and it is a little bit random. So it can change really fast at the start of the battle, or it can change like how it did right now, 12 minutes after the battle has started. So yeah.
Fantastic. All right. Well, I think that's all we're gonna have time for today. Thank you all for watching, and thank you, Milche, for coming around.
닌텐도
This
다이렉트
was
재밌어요?
fantastic.
난 닌텐도
I
게임을
like
잘
it.
안 하니까.
Looking forward to the next one where we can talk more about other stuff in the game and use some more varied maps as well, where we can
Yes.
utilize the terrain even more. Even though in the second battle you kind of showed how powerful the terrain can be when you are up on the cliffs with a
그래서
very
몇 명 보고
archer-heavy
있지?
build.
Absolutely.
29명 줄어들고
So much better
있습니다.
than I thought I would.
시청자가 줄어들고 있어. 공식 방송 몇
I
명이야?
don't remember what I set the battle
우리 방송이
to,
더 꾸준한데?
either. I think these might be normal battles, which if you're, a total war
Battles, you mean,
player,
like on
you're
normal
going to be roasting
difficulty?
me because
You
these
mean,
600명
or
선
land
유지.
battles that are
normal battles.
not siege
but
battles. Normal
no,
battles,
no,
you
no,
mean like
normal
on normal
difficulty,
difficulty?
real
You
men
mean, or
playing
like land
legendary.
battles that are
No,
not
Oh,
siege
yeah.
battles, push
No,
battles?
no, no, no.
Oh,
No,
글도 별로 안
because you
올라와.
can't
Real
slow down
men
time
playing
for balls,
legendary.
so it's hard to.
글도 지금 별로 안
Yeah,
올라오고
of course.
있어가지고
In
지금.
custom battle.
Oh yes, but on legendary you
토탈워
can't slow
오엠모
down
3의
time
8인
for
협동
balls,
게임이
so it's
파라오에
hard
돌아오지
to
않는다.
let the units and explain stuff.
Pre-
and so on.
Right. Let's see. Where was the
멀티 캠페인이
email
기존의 두 명으로 돌아가는 것 같은데?
on when the streams were supposed to be? Sorry, I just want to check. I believe it is July 12th. It is. So I will be back July 12th. I've not actually asked Milcher whether or not he will be back. But we'll figure out who will be here with me because there will be someone else. I'm not going to do this alone because you would hate that. The chatters. I don't know if Milcher would hate it, but I imagine he feels like you do.
반응이 너무 안 좋아.
So anyway, thank you.
여기도 채팅이 없어 그냥
I'm
사실
gonna
보면
look
거의.
through the chat replay.
라이브 채팅
See if
이거밖에
there were
없다는
any
건 좀.
interesting questions that we missed, and make sure that we address them in the next stream, which again,
Sure.
July 12th. And then we are going to take a look at Tausret and Seti.
닌텐도 다이렉트는 뭐 나왔어요? 나는 뭐
Okay.
닌텐도 게임을 안 하니까 뭐.
Some different army compositions then, because
Yes.
we have tried to make different factions feel different, even
Yeah.
though when using some of the native rosters, they
솔직히
can
내가
kind
닌텐도
of
게임 하는 게
vary
단 한
quite
개도
a lot
없거든.
in this game.
그거밖에 안 해. 그
For a
운동용으로
moment,
하는 거 있잖아
I
저기. 링피트
thought I
빼고는
messed up
닌텐도
and
게임 해본 게
said
없어가지고
something
지금.
that I shouldn't have. Then I remember, no, we've already said what the factions were.
Mario?
We just not.
Yes. We have announced the factions.
We've just not showed them yet, but we will
Yes.
live on stream, July 12th.
그렇군. 난 마리오를 별로 안 해가지고.
A rhyme. Goodbye, everyone.
Okay. Bye bye.
you for watching.
Thanks for having.
끝났네요. 땡스 포 와칭. 쇠똥구리 보여주면서 인간들 똥 잘 봤어? 하면서 마무리 지었네. 자 일단 소감을 말씀드리자면 큰일입니다. 거의 뭐 비상사태예요. 공식 방송이 너무나도 처참한 첫 시연인데도 지금 비꼬는 거 봐봐. 폭동이 일어나기 시작했어 외국 애들. 트위치 유튜브 합쳐서 600명 정도 봤는데 심각합니다. 심각해요. 아주 그냥. 이렇게 되면 안 되는데 너무나도 심각한 결과를 가지고 왔어요. 여기 공식 방송 라이브 한다 해도 반응이 없잖아. 봐봐. 1시간 전에 이거 올라왔잖아. 1시간 전에 지금 라이브 스트리밍 하러 가니까 보러 가세요 했는데 53만 구독자를 가진 토탈워 공식 채널에 반응이 안 좋아. 댓글 2개, 비꼬는 댓글 2개 달리고 그냥. 그리고 전투도 예상대로 안 좋았고.
스케이디엘스
와, 이거는-
스피티님 슈퍼채팅 2,000원 감사합니다. 진심 유튜브에 로마 이 아틸라 싱크킬 모션 치고 그거 보는 게 100번 더 재밌습니다.
일단 저는 파라오는 평일날 할 예정이야. 하게 되면 주말은 당연히 햄타로 해야 되니까 주말 같은 황금 골든타임에 스트리머들의 골든타임이 주말에 파라오를 할 이유는 없어. 지금 같은 상황이라면 파라오는 출신날하고 평일에만 컨텐츠를 돌리는 게 맞아. 저기 뭐 내가 방송을 휴방하는 요일 뭐 수목금 중 하루나 어차피 나오면 목금 중에 나오잖아 이 게임은. 그러니까 발매 당일 좀 하고 주말에는 당연히 햄타로 돌릴 거고요. 그래 뭐 너무 걱정하실 필요 없고 일단 뭐 궁금하신 분들을 위해서 내가 체험 개념으로 어쨌든 연재를 진행할 거니까 파라오를 주력 컨텐츠로 할 거냐고 하는 건 당연히 말도 안 되는 일이야. 내 입장에서는 말도 안 되는 소리야 그건. 파라오는 주말에 할 생각이 없어. 나는 무조건 파라오는 평일 비는 시간에 하는 짜투리 컨텐츠야. 내 입장에서는. 그러니까 뭐 이해해 주시면 그렇게 생각해 주시면 될 것 같고. 햄타로랑 다른 오히려 더 좋은 전략 게임들이 나오면 그걸 저는 팔 거지. 파라오는 일단 이번 시연해 보니까 좀 불길함이 맞아 떨어져 가는 것 같아요. 맞아 떨어져 가는 것 같으니까. 뭐 결론은 지금으로서는 평가가 계속 하락하고 있으니까 대기하시고 구매하지 마시고 그냥 구매를 생각도 하지 말고 내가 하는 거 보고 여러분들이 판단하면 될 것 같아. 내가 어쨌든 라이브 하면서 평가하잖아. 왜냐면 나는 물론 발매 당일 하겠지만 파트너 스트리머가 아니니까 이제 자유롭게 리뷰를 할 수 있잖아. 리뷰를 되게 자유롭게 할 수 있단 말이야. 그러니까 뭐 게임이 개 같다면 개 같다고 할 수 있으니까 이제 그럴 입장이니까 그때 돼서 평가하도록 하겠습니다. 뭐 그렇게 보도록 합시다. 네. 자 그러면 다들 좋은 밤 되시고요. 저는 내일이랑 모레는 아마 영상 오늘 저녁이죠. 오늘 목요일 저녁에는 연승전 간만에 한번 진행해 볼까 합니다. 가벼운 번개 연승전 짧게 진행할 예정이니까 뭐 많은 기대 부탁드리고요. 오늘 제가 방송하고 금요일은 쉬고 토요일 날 햄타로 엘타리온 스타팅 포인트 랜덤 룰렛 돌리고 불지옥 난이도 돌리고 하이엘프 티어 리스트로 주말에 찾아뵙도록 하겠습니다. 다들 그러면 좋은 밤 되십시오. 안녕히 계십시오. 방송 종료하겠습니다.